What's up guys, Zelda Inferno here. It has now been 1 year since the Nintendo Switch first released. Can you believe it has already been a full year since this amazing console was brought into our homes? Like, it's unbelievable just how fast time goes by. Like, it doesn't even feel like that long ago where I was standing in line at GameStop at the midnight release. And it's pretty awesome. I just felt like I needed to do something to celebrate this day. So I thought it would be fun if I went over my Nintendo Switch game collection. Now, it's nothing huge. I know there are people out there who have many more games than I currently do. However, it's not about that. It's just me going over which games I currently own, giving you all my experiences with these games, and just having fun with it. So I will be going in the order of when I got these games. So let's begin. Let's start things off with my favorite game in my collection, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This is by far one of, if not my favorite games of all time. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a huge Zelda fan. This is just an amazing game in general. I've put hundreds of hours into this game. There's just so much to do, and it's very different from any other Zelda game out there. Breaking the conventions of the series was probably the best possible way to go about this game. It was a launch title for the Nintendo Switch. It also came out on the Wii the same exact day, similar to how Twilight Princess came out on both the GameCube, and it was also a launch title on the original Wii. But it still blows my mind to this day that we are able to have a full home console Zelda experience on the go. What more could you want than that? Like, seriously. But anyway, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. So moving on. Oh, 1-2 Switch. What can I say about 1-2 Switch? Oh man, what do I even begin with this game? If I can even call it a game. Like, it's more or less just a glorified tech demo to showcase the technology in the Joy-Con. Such as HD rumble, moving around the Joy-Con, the feel like balls rolling around in it. It's more or less just a tech demo, and now I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for owning this game. I don't really care. It was also a launch title for the Nintendo Switch. I did pick it up alongside Breath of the Wild. Just to kind of see how the HD rumble really was, because I was hearing all these great things about it, and like, I kind of want to try this out now. So I picked it up, and I don't think it deserves necessarily all the hate that it receives. I do still strongly believe that it should have been a pack-in. This game was not worth $50. I feel like I should have waited for a price drop on this game. I could have waited. However, I will say I did have a lot of fun playing this game with my friends. It did bring a couple weeks of good fun. It was the only multiplayer game I actually owned on the Switch. Up until then, I didn't pick up any other games like Bomberman. Surprisingly, I feel like I should have gotten that instead of this game. Alright, moving on, here we have yet another great game on the Nintendo Switch, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, of course, this is a port of Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, except with a bunch of new content, such as new characters like Bowser Jr. and King Boo, as well as a revamped battle mode, which I'm so glad is in this version of the game, because that was by far the worst part of Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. Not saying Mario Kart 8 was a bad game, it was an amazing game. It was probably my favorite game on the Wii U. Except, the one thing I did not like about the game was the battle mode. It felt rushed, it felt just thrown in there for just an extra little bonus thing, but they went all out with it on the Switch version. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, fantastic game. You should have this game. If you own a Switch, you need to have this game. If you don't own a Switch, you need to get this game. You need to get a Switch first of all, but you need to get this game along with Breath of the Wild, of course, because, yeah. Next up, we have ARMS. So this is a very different type of game on the Nintendo Switch, a very different type of fighting game. It is actually a brand new IP from Nintendo, and I remember when this game was first announced, I'm like, is this just like another type of Wii Sports thing? Is it another tech demo like 1-2 Switch was? Because they were announced in the same different segment during the Nintendo Switch presentation in January of last year. So I had my doubts with this game, but then as we saw more of it, I got more and more excited. I picked this up day one, and while I haven't played too much of it, I definitely need to jump back into this game because it is a fun time. I don't use motion controls. I know this game, they always advertise that you should play this game with motion controls, but I'm not very good at that. I've tried it. I just use a Pro Controller. But anyway, ARMS. Alright, moving on. here we have The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Now this is more of an indie game on the Nintendo Switch. It is, of course, an expansion for The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which I do own on the PlayStation 4. It is it's an awesome game. It's addicting. I put hundreds of hours into it on the PlayStation 4. Haven't played too much of it on the Nintendo Switch, but I definitely need to change that, especially with the portability aspect of it. I've been a fan of this series for quite some time. I played the original on PC. I have Rebirth on the PS4, and then I of course picked up Afterbirth Plus. So it has all of the DLC, including new content as well. So this is definitely a worthy buy, and it actually has a very different box art, because I know this is actually the second run edition. The first run had a different box art at launch. Well, it was delayed from the Switch's launch, but you know what I mean. So I picked up the post-launch edition, like the second run of the game. But anyway, Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Alright guys, moving on to an amazing game on the Nintendo Switch, Super Mario Odyssey. This game came out back in October. I picked it up at launch. You guys saw my unboxing of this game. It is absolutely incredible. Probably my second favorite game on the system, next to Breath of the Wild. They did what they did for Breath of the Wild, they did for Super Mario Odyssey. Like, this really feels like a brand new type of Mario experience. It's amazing. The capture mechanic is just incredibly fun to mess around with. It's the first time we have been in a sandbox style setting since Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine. So it's such a great game. I cannot say any more great things about this game. It's that amazing. If you own a Switch, you better own this game. You need to have this game. If you don't own a Switch, get a Switch, get this game. There's so many great games on this, but this is definitely one of the best. Alright guys, next up we have Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Now I actually didn't see myself picking up this game anytime soon. In fact, I actually picked it up after I already owned Super Mario Odyssey. But this is a very different type of game. So reason why I didn't pick it up is because I'm just not that big into strategy games. I've never really played too many. I don't really know how everything works, but you know, playing through this game, and while I haven't played that much, I've played like maybe a couple levels of it so far, which is sad because when I did play it, I actually really liked the gameplay. It helped me kind of understand how these types of things work. It's similar to games like XCOM, pretty much. And while I haven't played XCOM, I've seen enough of it to know that yeah, these are very similar style games. And now, I remember when this game was announced, like, there had been tons of rumors beforehand talking about this game. It was all but confirmed at that point. And finally, at E3 last year, Miyamoto came up on stage. They finally announced Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It was amazing seeing Miyamoto just on Ubisoft's stage at their press conference. It was awesome. And so I picked it up. Very fun from what I've played. So yeah, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Alright guys, moving on, here we have yet another port of a Wii U game, Pokken Tournament DX. Now, I remember when this game was first announced, everybody was hating on it. Nobody wanted this game coming to the Switch. Well, I mean, a few people did, but a lot of people were just salty and mad that it wasn't Pokemon Stars. That is the game that was rumored to be coming to the Switch for so long now, but it turns out it was this, and the game that they thought was going to be Pokemon Stars turned out to be Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon on the 3DS. But, I mean, considering I've never owned this game on the Wii U, I am so glad I have it on the Switch. It's fun, addicting. I put a lot of hours into this game already. I love Pokemon, and it's a style between Pokemon and Tekken. What's not to love? But anyway, Pokken Tournament DX. Alright, next up we have Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I actually already own this game on the PlayStation 4. However, I just never had the time to really get into the game. But now that it's on the Switch, I'm able to take it with me everywhere. It is very fun. I have not played too much of it. This is one of those other games that I just never really have the time. Even though it's portable, I've just been dabbling with other games. Haven't really been able to play a lot of the games I would like to, but I will talk about that in just a little bit. But yeah, Skyrim is still fun. It's amazing that we have it portable now. I know you can make the argument saying, oh, well, you can play it on a laptop, but that's actually a bigger struggle than just playing on your freaking Switch. It's a lot easier just playing on this thing, but anyway, yeah. Skyrim, oh, wrong way. I don't even know what I'm doing. Anyway, Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch. Thanks Bethesda, an awesome port. Guys, I'm almost done. I only have 3 games left to show you guys. So moving on, we have Doom. This is an awesome game. This is an awesome port. I am so glad this is on the Switch. I did never in a million years expect this game to come to Switch. It is a very graphical, demanding game, but somehow ID and Bethesda were able to make this happen. I have put a lot of time into this game. It is epic, awesome. I haven't put too much time into the story mode. I'm playing more of the online multiplayer, but it's still so fun. It's so addicting. I put lots of hours into it. But yeah, Doom, definitely. Thank you ID, thank you Bethesda. Such a great port. Alright, so next up, another game which I really need to get back into. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This game, from what I have played, is amazing. It's a huge open world. It's a big JRPG. It is more of a sequel to the original Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. I know people were confused. I'm like, well, there's Xenoblade Chronicles and then there's Xenoblade Chronicles X, so wouldn't this be the 3rd Xenoblade Chronicles? Well, this more or less just falls in the tradition of the original Xenoblade, except it does have a very different battle system from the Xenoblade games. So, but it's a very good game. I do very much recommend this game if you are into JRPGs. I'm a pretty big RPG fan myself, so yeah, I do recommend this game. You should get it. And finally, my most recent Nintendo Switch game, Fire Emblem Warriors. Now this game actually came back in October. I believe it came out a couple weeks before Super Mario Odyssey. I just never got around to picking it up. I really did. So I picked this up about, I'd say early January I picked this up, and the timing of when I got this game was just so random because I remember I got this game literally like a week or 2 before they announced Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, so I'm like, oh man, did I waste money on this game? Well, I really didn't, because I played a couple of the missions in the game, a couple of the story missions, and I can say it's really fun. I really like the Warrior style gameplay. These games, while repetitive at times, can still be very addicting. So I am so glad I own this game. I will definitely be playing more of it. Alright guys, so that's it for my Nintendo Switch game collection, and I know some of you may be wondering, well, where's Splatoon 2? Because you've seen me play Splatoon 2 on my channel before, so where is it? Well, funny story about that. I had always intended on getting a physical copy of Splatoon 2. However, when I went to go pre-order the game at GameStop, I believe in February of last year. And closer to launch, I had heard that they were doing a midnight launch. So my friend and I went to this supposed midnight launch. Come to find out, GameStop's closed. We tried calling several different GameStops, several different Best Buys, you name it, and none of them were open. So we got screwed over, so I'm like, you know what, I wanted to play this game right now, to play, just to level up, rank up, and whatever. So I ended up downloading the game. I know it was impatient. I should have just waited the next day to get it physical. However, like, I do honestly regret it. But you know, with the Starter Edition coming out, maybe I'll actually end up picking up a physical copy now. Anyway, yeah, that's a bit of a funny story there for you guys. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to do something to celebrate the Nintendo Switch's 1-year anniversary. However, before I go, there is something I would like to announce. Tonight, I will be going live with a Nintendo Switch anniversary stream. Yeah, that's right. This is something I've actually wanted to do for quite some time. I just never had the opportunity to do it. But now that the Nintendo Switch is 1 year old, it is the perfect timing, in my opinion. We will be playing a lot of different Nintendo Switch games that I have actually had the chance to play much of, which is what I was talking about earlier in this video. But yeah, I hope you guys join the live stream. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Until next time, I've been Zelda Inferno, and I'll see you all later. Bye!